Welcome everyone, one and all. This is the 9th episode of the Unbanned podcast, and we have one thing to say. Unban Nykthos. Shrine to Nyx. It's not banned yet, but I'm not banning Oko for the second time, and it is doing better than Nykthos in Pioneer, so this is what you get. Be happy about it. My name's Jake, and this is Justin.
Hello.
And of course we have Jordan.
I'm Jordan.
And we're going to talk about some Magic today. And we're going to start off by addressing the elephant, or I guess elk, in the room for just a little bit of time. And then we'll move on to actual news besides what is getting turned into an elk this week. Don't have a lot to talk about as far as strategy. I guess we'll hit Pioneer a little bit later, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Sure can.
So, let's start off. Last week, I think we were a little dismissive of Oko. We thought he was strong. Maybe he wouldn't catch the ban hammer. Maybe he'd be fine in Standard. Then I saw him win a vintage game by turning a Black Lotus into a 3/3 and hitting them in the face with it, and now I'm a little bit skeptical as to why this card was ever printed.
Yeah, Oko is seeming like a pretty large mistake. And we were definitely not as high on it as I think we should have been. Just, I thought it could be managed, and then I played Standard for the last week, and I'm like, okay, we could still adapt. That is a thing that could happen. But as of right now, I think playing an Oko deck is just where you want to be. Either you want to play a deck that's really good against blue-green in Standard, or you want to be playing that deck.
And on top of that, it's not limited to Standard. It's been a long time since we've seen a Planeswalker just kind of take over so much space as Oko has. He's being played in Vintage, he's being played in Legacy, he's being played in Modern, he's in Pioneer. Apparently he even ruined the Brawl event on MTG Arena. He was just like insanely dominant as the commander of his Brawl deck.
I saw someone post on Twitter, they didn't actually play Oko, they played Oko and then lands. And they completed the Brawl event without a single loss because everyone conceded once they saw that Oko was the commander. Yeah, that level of recognition. It's like, we literally have a new Jace the Mind Sculptor. The Boogeyman is back in a different form.
That's so bad.
It's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
That's a gutsy move, though. Hats off to that guy. It's like if one person called his bluff, he's like, well, I guess that'll do it.
What do you mean? They play Oko on curve, and then they just make 3/3s forever and win the game. On top of that, if they play their commander is now an elk.
It's true. Unless it's a planeswalker, the commander becomes an elk. Everything's an elk. The memes just write themselves.
That's the only part of Oko that I've been into, was the fact that the memes are just on point. Fantastic.
I've been laughing at everyone on Twitter posting the pictures of themselves muting the word elk.
Yeah.
Because they're tired of the memes.
I mean, I'm kind of tired of it. I did a 10-hour stream to celebrate getting Twitch affiliate on Saturday, and part of the celebration was I was not going to play an Oko deck. I played no Oko decks, and I waffled back and forth between Gold 4 and Gold 2 and didn't go anywhere. So, can you guess what I'm playing now on ladder?
You're going to be playing Black-Green Adventures.
I'm feeling green-white tokens.
Nope. We got ourselves a Sultai Oko deck.
Affinity?
I wish. Maybe we'd be able to beat it if we had Affinity.
Mill.
Actual Affinity from Scars of Mirrodin. That would beat Oko.
I mean, it would.
Yeah, there's not much else to say about Oko, I don't think. It's just, the card is actually ridiculous. We're going to be dealing with it for a while in multiple formats. It's kind of hard to escape. I've seen people calling for it to be restricted in every format just to get rid of it. Definitely is hard to deal with in Pioneer. I wonder if we're going to see a ban on Oko in Pioneer, though.
So one quick thing I found really funny is if you go on MTG Goldfish and you go to the standard metagame, it's just Oko. It's just one Murderous Rider there, and you got 3 Okos in the top row. This is obnoxious.
Every single deck is just running Oko. If you can get into blue-green, you're just running it.
Just actually one more quick thing on top of that. I think this might be overshadowing how good Nissa is still.
Yeah, I think that may be part of the problem in Standard as well, is Nissa plus Oko is, if you drop Oko on 2, Nissa on 3, you win. There's not much your opponent can do at that point on turn, even if they're on the play, so they're on turn 4 at that point, or turn 3, there's just nothing that they can do that actually beats that combination.
Yeah, so it just kind of worries me that Oko's getting all of this attention from everyone, but Nissa's not being talked about, and she's just as bad.
I disagree, and I don't disagree because Nissa's not powerful. Nissa's a very powerful planeswalker. She's probably going to see play with or without Oko until she rotates. But the bare fact is, me playing a Gilded Goose on turn 1, a Paradise Druid on turn 2, and then playing turn 3 Nissa requires you to do nothing to that goose. If I have the ability to play Shocks, to play my Bone Crusher Giants, and actually remove your mana dorks, like, at value, because I don't have to worry about Oko coming down on turn 3 and just taking over the entire game, I don't think Nissa's quite as powerful. The problem is, if you try to do that now, if you try to hit their mana, they still get to play an Oko on 3, and that's enough to win the game.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely, I think maybe the first step to fixing Standard would be finding a way to deal with Oko one way or another, and then after that, seeing where things end up. But as of right now, as far as Standard, I'm kind of off of it. I'm gonna go play on MTGO. Like, I'll play Standard enough to maybe hit Mythic this month, because it's kind of easy to target the best deck in the format. Like, having a set meta is something that you can exploit. But after I hit the rank that I want to for this month, I'm just gonna go play Pauper, I'm gonna play Pioneer, and I'm not gonna interact with Standard until it's in a better state.
I still think you're just better off playing Oko, but in better news, Pioneer actually looks fantastic.
Pioneer is looking really sweet. It has a lot of variety. So far, it's looking like mid-range decks are the deck to beat. Is It Phoenix, like I said, is actually seeing a lot of play and doing pretty well. And people are brewing a lot of things with it. We unbanned Nykthos Shrine to Nyx this week because that's a card that's seeing a lot of play in devotion style decks. I've seen a couple decks go infinite with it, and they don't actually seem broken, weirdly enough. They seem pretty on par with everything else that's being played. So it's interesting. It's like, if you like Tron and Modern, you can play those decks. If you like Jund, there's Sultai midrange, there's Is It Phoenix. There's all these decks that people are familiar with, but they're different. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people are hyped for the format.
I'm supremely excited for this format, and I've got my Siege Rhinos ready for when they are actually playable. Until then, I guess they get to be elks, but
yeah, everything being an elk is rough for creature decks.
Once we get to the point where I can play Siege Rhino, though, I will be playing a Siege Rhino.
Justin, you done any more brewing in Pioneer, or are you just watching the format as it develops?
Sadly, I've not been doing brewing. I've meant to, but I've been lazy, I'll be honest. But, it does look kind of fun right now. I haven't been able to play it online either, sadly, so I'm not really the best person to talk about this, but I'm liking the everything except Oko part of this format.
Yeah. The one thing that I've been trying to make work in Pioneer, and I just can't, is there's not really a good tempo deck. There's no blue-red tempo that I can really play, and it's frustrating to me. I think maybe I should try blue-black, because then you get access to Drown on the Lock. Because there's just not any good 2-mana counterspells in this format. We don't even have a mana leak. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, you could play Drown in the Lock. That's about it.
Just play Negate. Everybody's only playing Oko anyways.
Actually, that might be a way to go forward, is just play like Mystical Dispute or a Negate, because it seems like a lot of people are leaning on the Planeswalkers in this format, so it might actually be worth it. Yeah, so they also said that they're going to be doing pretty aggressive bans in this format. So that's happening tomorrow. We record on Sunday, and tomorrow there's an announcement. Do you think anything will be banned, guys?
My wallet, because I realized that I need probably 4 Liliana Last Hope, and they are $57 a piece now. So I'm crying. Honestly, I don't think anything gets banned yet. Oko, the thing that's kind of cool about Pioneer is that it's really, really fair right now, and I think that a Planeswalker that negates pretty much all creatures might be too good for it, but I think this is the one format where I think our Thief of Crowns can actually live in harmony with everything else. It doesn't seem too busted.
Well, any format looks fair when you find out that you're playing 18 to 25 3/3s with no abilities.
Yeah, it's all creature decks, so the game is completely fair. Nothing wrong here. Everyone's just playing Elk Tribal.
I just mean that there's not any real combo decks out yet. It's possible those come up. Pretty much you have the Jeskai Copycat decks, the 4-color Copycat decks. That's really the only combo deck. Everything else is beating down on the ground or controlling the game or thought seizing you.
Yeah, I do like that fair decks are what we're starting with in this format. I feel like you do that. I think there's some sort of stack-based combo or artifact combo deck in this format that is just waiting to be made. Like on my second monitor right now, I have a Kethis combo deck pulled up, and it went 8-2 in the PTQ, and this deck looks pretty sweet.
Thank God Deathrite Shaman is losing price.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I can actually play that card.
You think people forgot about it?
No, they didn't. It went from $1 to $10 overnight, and now it's going down to back to about $5.
I'll get back to the Kethis combo deck in a second. Everyone thought that card would be busted in this format, and they're like, no, the reason that card is busted is because of the presence of fetch lands. It's not just busted by itself. It's still good. Like, you can run it, but I think it's mostly going to be run as like a form of graveyard hate in green-black decks.
This is, and I really, really don't want to talk more about Oko, but it's just a 3/3 elk, like everything else.
You can upgrade it.
You could, in theory, upgrade it.
Where's the bad side of that?
Well, you don't get a ramp or gain life or deal damage if it's an elk, and
yeah, I think that is a problem. A lot of creature stuff is being kept under Oko right now, and I don't know if necessarily that's going to change in the future, because there might be decks that just beats the Sultai decks in Pioneer, but back on this Kethis combo deck, I feel like this might be one of the things that will start to push people to adapt and maybe end up getting a ban, because this combo deck runs Oko and is also a degenerate combo deck. And it's just like, Kethis seems like one of those things that is going to be very busted once it gets tuned to the point where it's consistent. It's just running Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, and Diligent Excavator as the win cons now, so you can get into a loop and mill yourself or mill your opponent out, which seems very powerful.
yeah, I'm wondering how well Thoughtseize keeps that down, because Thoughtseize has been keeping a lot of that down so far. If they find
which
a
I
way,
think is good.
Yeah, if they find a way to go around that, maybe with like multiple Veil Summers.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, are they running Veil Summer? No, this build of the deck isn't running Veil Summer at all, so the other thing I haven't seen that much of that I feel like could be very good is Wizard's Lightning. Or Wizards in general. It seems like there could be a red-blue prowess or mono-red prowess deck in this format that runs Wizards and gets access to Lightning Bolt via Wizard's Lightning, and I haven't seen that at all. I've seen a lot of mono-red aggro, which also seems very good, but no one really going for Wizard's Lightning, which I think is weird, because they're also not running Lightning Strike really, so...
Jordan, you wound me. I put a mono-red prowess list, well, it's actually red-green prowess list, on our Patreon.
Well, I mean, does it have a Wizard sub-theme?
No, but I did try it, and it didn't work very well.
Well, Jake, you see, Jordan can't see that list unless he's a patron.
And I'm not a patron. I guess I should go give $1 or something.
Yeah, just $1.
Yeah, no, I give $1,000.
You're basically giving $1 to go back into your own pocket, though. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't looked at that list. Red-green is definitely an option, like a Tarka red. I'm really looking at Wizard's Lightning and saying, I can kind of play actual lightning bolts, and I really like that idea.
Honestly, the deck seems... Just Wizards in general, the deck seems pretty good. I remember playing in the Spiffness tournament that Alias V put on, and I got dumpstered my very first round by a red-blue Wizards list. It killed me on turn 4, and it did not have a lot of the burn spells that we are seeing being played, so I'd be interested to see that kind of explored more.
Maybe I'll have to do that after we're done here. Is I'll just go pull up Scryfall and start working on an actual burn list, like maybe kind of a counter burn list. I'll go through it. I haven't brewed enough in Pioneer yet. I've only made 3 decks. Should be 20. I guess we should also ask, tomorrow, banned and restricted announcement for Pioneer. Do you think anything's going to get the ban hammer?
Yes. Strict banning they're going to be doing, and everyone is complaining about Oko. And I mean, pretty much everyone. Like, listen to us right now.
Yeah, we're trying not to talk about it, but it keeps coming up just because he's so omnipresent.
Yeah, like he's basically transcended, he's transcended the format at this point. Like, he's everything we talk about in every single format.
He's becoming too powerful.
Honestly, he's like Voldemort. He's the Voldemort of Magic right now. He who shall not be named.
That's why I was calling him the boogeyman, man.
I think you could legitimately almost make a case for banning Oko in every format. Like, legitimately just going ban Oko from Magic just because he is so powerful and so good. And I don't think that's what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to ban him in Pioneer tomorrow either. I think that the first banning we'll see for Oko will be the next standard one. But I really do wish they could go back and just undo this card. I wish they could just take it out of existence. I'm thinking about like the sort of decks we would be seeing in all these different formats without this card, and I just think it'd be better. But you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
I don't know that is an unfair take on it. I personally don't think anything's going to get banned. I don't think they're even going to ban Oko in Standard quite yet. Like, there's not going to be an emergency ban. They'll wait until after the Mythic Championship.
Yeah, definitely.
And as for Pioneer, I think they are going to be aggressive with bans as they go forward. I don't think it's going to get banned quite yet, just because there's still a diversity. It hasn't like established itself as the main thing to play yet. It's just a good card in multiple different decks. So we'll see. When we start seeing everyone splashing blue and green for it, like you take a white weenies list and then someone just ends up playing Bant for Collected Company and Oko, then I think they'll look at it.
Well, I think that's what I was about to joke about, was, has anybody in Standard tried making like Temur Oko?
Yes.
Or
yeah, Temur Walkers is a thing.
Yeah, it's like you just throw whatever color you feel like on it, and Oko gets done.
I have tried multiple times to try and make Gruul aggro with Oko in it.
Just because, I mean, you may as well. I really want to try Temur Elementals, and I still haven't gotten around to it yet. I'll have to throw that together tonight and play it a bit.
Well, moving on from Pioneer, which sadly became Oko talk, let's move on to something that definitely will not have anything to do with Oko. We actually got some news this week about some new Commander products that are coming out.
Lots of new Commander products.
Yeah, I'm not a giant Commander player, but I'm down to talk about it.
I like some Commander every now and then. I'm excited to see new legendaries, to see what you could build. So tell us all about them. Justin, do you have them in front of you?
I pretty much have them in front of me.
All right, go ahead, Justin. Justin's kind of our resident Commander player anyway, so...
Am I, though?
Yes, you are.
You play it more than we do, that's for sure.
I'll be honest. I may play Commander more than you guys. It might be one of my least favorite formats. It's just what people play. I feel bad saying that, but...
I think we need a Commander player on this podcast.
No, like, I'll play it and I'll talk about it. It's just... It's hard to play it. Sorry to go on a rant about Commander here. Sorry, before all the Commander announcements. I just don't like how long the games take.
That's definitely a local issue, by the way.
Yeah, that's our LGS, I think.
Is it? Okay, I didn't know.
Our LGS, for some background, guys, plays like they have a rule where they're like, you need at least 8 counters and at least 10 board wipes in every single deck, because otherwise you're just going to lose. And we're like, it's a casual format. You're just supposed to play for fun, and like, you can try to win, but you don't want to board wipe every other turn.
Well, I mean, casual Commander is, I think, the best casual format. Doesn't mean that it has to be casual. I think the problem is that a lot of times people don't treat it as a casual format. They play it casually, but they act very competitive because obviously they want to win. Like at our store, it just seems like everyone has like a bunch of board wipes. Everyone's playing a control deck. That's why the games take forever. It's because everyone says, oh, well, I'm playing this commander. It's like, no, you're playing control. And I've tried to bring this up with people, and they got mad at me because they would bring their deck and they're like, oh yeah, I've got this card and this card and this card. I'm like, how many Wrath of Gods do you have? And they were like, I've got 6. And I'm like, so you're playing a control deck.
All right. Sorry to get off there. Sorry to get off the trail there. So we got 4 things that got announced. 2 are basically the exact same thing. But we have the first thing, which is there will be new decks based on standard sets. So Ikoria and Zendikar Rising will both have their respective commander decks. I believe it is... they're doing 5 decks for Ikoria, and I believe they're doing 2 for Zendikar Rising. I'm sorry, I'm reading just to make sure I'm not missing information here. So yeah, it looks like they're just going to add X amount of commander products to each set at this point. So Ikoria and Zendikar Rising will have their own commander decks. It's kind of interesting, especially since they're going to be adding more new cards to these in comparison to the normal commander products. I think it's like 49 cards get added every year for commander, and the Ikoria commanders will have 71. So actually a big jump there.
Yeah, it's a lot of new cards.
Which could be a good thing, it could be a very bad thing.
I think for Commander, that's actually a pretty good thing, because I think the fun of Commander comes from deck building and being able to do things that are very different and make it your own. So I think a diversity of cards available makes those better. And it's not a format that's played in tournaments often. So obviously there are some people who play CEDH and play very competitively, but a lot of those decks have ways to deal with crazy things being printed in the format. So I think go ahead, toss a bunch of stuff at Commander. We'll see what happens.
I'm lost. There's a lot of this, and we're not even through the whole announcement. There's more products after this. So
yeah,
in the first 2 products, we are going to get 70 new... No, I'm reading this. The Ikoria is going to put 71 new cards into the format. And Zendikar Rising is going to put even more cards into the new format.
Yeah, they're doing off-season pre-con decks, essentially, for Commander. And I guess they're just going to start doing Commander decks with every set, or the sets that they feel like now, which is interesting. And then they're also doing, past that, Commander Collection Green, which is just going to be 8 reprint cards in a box. It's like the From the Vault series. And I think one of the ones they showed was Yisan the Bard.
They showed an art with Yisan the Wandering Bard in it, but it is not necessarily Yisan. It may be a spell attached to him.
I kind of hope it's Yisan. Yisan's Yisan? I don't know how to pronounce it, but I like that card a lot. It's a very fun green commander.
So this part I've actually seen. I've seen this art and speculation on it, and it looks like Chord of Calling, because he's like strumming his harp, and there's creatures around him kind of being pulled towards him. But the other one, I have no idea. It's some plant thing, and in the article they say that the crest on it looks like Azusa Lost but Seeking's headpiece, and apparently this thing is from Kamigawa. I had no idea.
I mean, that seems pretty cool. I will probably end up picking this up because my commander deck is Tatiova, so I play a lot of green. Basically, if you know what From the Vault is, that's what this is, so...
I would more correlate this towards, or I would more attach this to being like signature spellbook commander green.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is a little more like the signature spellbook product.
Yeah, like new art, new reprints as well.
which is good. Those are things that they definitely need. I'm interested to see what is in this. Like, if it's worth the value, if they're good reprints, should be interesting. I think the product I'm most excited for is the last one on this article, actually. Commander Legends. Commander Legends is a full set for Commander players. They say it's draft meets Commander. And I heard this and said, so am I drafting a 40 card deck? So 39 cards with a Commander? Because that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm excited for that, honestly.
I'm not sure how many cards the decks are going to be for the draft format, but a little thing about it is that they are no longer... The little thing about it is they're going to be 20 card booster packs instead of 15.
It's pretty crazy.
You may be getting to play with more cards in a deck. You might want to. You never know.
Maybe it'll be like Brawl, where it's a 60 card deck, 59 with the Commander. I can't imagine it's going to be a 100 card deck. That would be too many for the amount that's in the packs.
You would need to draft 5 packs and then use every card.
Yeah. So maybe 60 cards in a deck? I don't know. I'm bad at math off the top of my head.
It just looks like a tricky format, but I think once you actually play it, it's kind of like Battle Bond, where once you play it, it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, I want Battle Bond 2, and this is not Battle Bond 2, but it looks like it'll be a similar experience. I love draft. I love draft. I love different takes on draft, so this will be fun, I think.
So I'm really interested in Commander Legends. I think it seems like a great set. I'm really excited to draft it as well. I always have fun drafting these supplemental sets, and it's part of the reason I'm really still upset that master sets aren't around anymore, because I love those draft formats. They're great. I don't really get... I get the Commander collection. That makes sense. It's a nice place to put in reprints. I don't really get the Commander decks with every set. It feels like a lot, because they've already been designing standard sets with Commander in mind. It feels like there's certain cards, like a lot of the legends from M20 were pretty obviously just for Commander. Omnath saw some standard play, and so did Kethis. I don't think they printed Kethis into standard thinking he would be the centerpiece of a combo deck. I think they printed him thinking that he would be a good commander, and people would buy the packs for him to be their commander.
That's entirely possible.
And I guess maybe it's possible they stopped doing that and refocus standard completely on standard and just use these commander products to print their commander cards, which might be better, I don't know. But it seems like a lot of things to buy if you're someone who's really in franchise and you want to play standard and you want to play commander and you also want to play, say, a third format, maybe modern. You're probably buying, 4 sets a year plus 3 commander decks a year, maybe? I guess you don't have to buy all of them. You could skip one if you... I guess you do have the option now, since there's more stuff, that you don't have to buy all of it. You can buy what actually suits you. But that doesn't really suit Wizards. Wizards would like you to buy all of this stuff.
I think that what you're seeing is that this product wasn't really made for you. So they mention in the article that a lot of people are learning Magic through Commander, and then after that getting into the other formats. Because Commander's so huge that people's friends play Commander, and then they say, oh, well, I want to play Magic with you all. And then after that, they say, oh, well, you have to go learn the game and then you can play Commander. That's not really what is happening. People are just jumping into Commander and learning the game through that. So I think the reason why they're doing precons for every set is they're basically treating them like Commander Planeswalker decks. They're for a new player to buy a pre-built deck and be able to just jump into Commander. So I don't think the precons, although they will have reprints in them, I'm sure, and good cards, I don't think they're necessarily designed towards in-franchise players. I think they're there so that you can grab one whenever, and you don't have to wait for the big Commander release every year to get a precon that you can then go and jump into the format with.
I guess that's true. They could be thinking that, but if that's if that's the truth, and I'm not saying they're straight up lying to us, but why would you include so many new legends if these are for new Commander players? This is very obviously meant to appeal to people who want new Commander cards more often, which I understand, I get that. But like I just said, they have been including new Commander cards more often in Standard, and I did it with Eldraine. I have a Rat Commander deck. That's probably my favorite one to play, and I looked at Piper of the Swarm and just went, that is not actually for Standard as of right now. That is for my Commander deck. It's a Commander, payoff for my Rat deck. And maybe I'm completely wrong, and Rat Tribal becomes a thing in 2 to 3 sets, and I'll be playing that in Standard, but as of right now, there's literally no Rats.
Maybe they planned it with Pioneer, with Pack Rat.
That's possible. Maybe they were looking ahead to Pioneer. I don't really think that's the case, though. I think they have been planting these cards that are kind of more for things that aren't Standard in Standard sets for a while. And I guess what I'm actually hoping, I'm being hopeful here, I'm hoping that changes, that those cards get switched to these Commander products, and every single Standard card is meant for either Standard or Draft. Because that sounds actually really good. If I could open up every booster and have, at the very least, a card that might see some Standard play and isn't obviously targeted at something else, that might be a better situation than what we currently have.
But you don't like pulling 3 Meteor Golems in your pools?
No, those would still be in the set because those are great draft cards.
Yeah, those are great draft cards. I'm talking about let me think of one from Thornella Drain really quick. Because I have so many cards that I have pulled.
Like Beanstalk Giant.
Kind of like Mirror Maid. Mirror Maid is not a bad card, and there's support for it in the set, but it's really, really good in Commander, and it's obviously kind of playing into that.
Spark Double might be another one from recent memory. That one is really good in Eternal formats where you can brew around it, but not amazing in Standard.
Maybe I'm just being too spiky, and those cards are someone plays them in Standard, and that's their favorite thing to play, but
I think some of them are definitely they're definitely Johnny cards. They're there for people who want to try to brew around them.
Yeah, maybe I'm just being too much of a spike today.
I don't know. I mean, with Oko making everyone bend to his will, it's hard being a spike right now.
I'll just go play Commander for 2 months. This is a Commander podcast now.
We're taking 2 months off, just playing Commander. We're going to buy all of this.
Does anybody know if this is taking over for the yearly releases? Do we know if this is being...
I didn't read the whole article. I just skimmed it, so I don't think they said that these are replacing them. I think this is a new product in addition to them.
The whole article, they didn't say straight up that Commander 2020 is happening. They didn't confirm it, but I think it's still on the schedule of releases, and the entire article is kind of phrasing it like, this is new stuff in addition to the stuff we were doing before. Isn't that great? So I would expect that they actually have more Commander decks coming out that are specifically those Commander products that we were used to.
That's ridiculous. We're going to get 12 to 15 Commander decks a year instead of 4.
I think the pre-cons, I think they said that they're going to have new cards in them, but I think the legends that, the face of them, I think just might be legends from the set. So I don't think we're going to get too much that's new. Just some stuff, and I'm sure they'll slip some reprints in there as well. I'm kind of excited about it just because it gives them a new way to put cards out there. There's a lot of stuff in Commander that needs a reprint, and they can't put those cards into Standard or even into modern legal sets a lot of the time because they're just too powerful. You wouldn't want them in this set.
Like Mystic Remora.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing. Rhystic Studies, or trying to think of an innocuous card that you wouldn't expect to be really expensive, but is.
Oracle of Moldiah.
Yeah, that's one. Oracle of Moldiah actually could fit in a lot of sets, but they don't because it just isn't something that they want to put into a Standard format or a Draft format. So
Well, luckily we've got that Zendikar commander stuff coming up, so I think that's where they'll finally do it for Oracle, at least.
Yeah, Oracle is a Zendikar specific card. It was originally in Zendikar, but
I don't want to be the downer, but no, it's not getting reprinted.
it will be.
Zendikar.
It will be. No, not the main set, silly. The commander set. The decks.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Then yes, I think it will be, and maybe I'll finally be able to snag my copy. I just was thinking it would not be printed in Zendikar like the standard sets.
Copy?
No.
I have like 3 green commander decks in the works over there. I need 4.
Yeah, okay. But Oracle's a perfect one, yes.
Yeah, sorry to go off track here again, but have you guys realized that I own one? Like, I bought one when it was at our LGS, but it's like, I feel like it's a fake card. I feel like it doesn't actually exist.
Oracle?
Yeah, like, how many Oracles of Moldiah have you seen in person?
I think 1.
I've only seen like 2 or 3.
Honestly, yeah, it's not a
Including
card
that.
that gets seen a lot because it's not played anything really but Commander, and a lot of people just skip buying it for their Commander decks because it's so expensive.
Exactly. Like, I feel like it's a fake card.
It just doesn't exist at this point.
Yeah, it's like the one in my cube is not a real. It's not a real card. Like, it's actually never been printed.
I just am kind of excited as well that if they're putting reprints in this, I might be able to be like, hey, this has a Scalding Tarn in it, and I play red-blue commanders in Commander, so I can get a Scalding Tarn from this.
Yeah, you're a red-blue commander player, so you need to pick up 4 copies of the red-blue commander deck to get your Scalding Tarns for your commander decks.
Yeah, exactly. I only need them for my 4 red-blue Commander decks. I know you're joking, but I actually do have 4 red-blue Commander decks.
Well, damn.
However, I'm not thinking that they're going to put Scalding Tarns in here, unfortunately. I don't think that's going to be something that'll be in there, but it is nice to have another way for them to reprint things, is what I'm saying.
Aside from Commander, we did get a little bit of other news this week. A bunch of cards were leaked from the new Theros set coming out in a couple months. And as far as anyone can tell, they're real. We're not going to discuss the specific cards, but if you want to go look them up, you can check it out. A lot of people are really upset by this, and maybe one of you guys can actually phrase this to me in a way that makes sense, because I have absolutely no idea why anyone cares when cards are leaked. Like, Wizards of the Coast cares because that's part of their marketing, is giving out all the cards and doing it in a big, exciting first week period. They don't really want leaks because then they don't get as much hype and excitement, but a lot of players are really mad about leakers, and I don't really get it.
I don't agree with people being that upset about it, but I kind of get it. The first argument is that it hurts content creators because a lot of the spoilers that are given out are given to content creators to show off on their platform. And apparently that drives views, that gets more clicks to their content. I personally have never watched a content creator that I didn't watch before because they had a spoiler. I might watch the thing, or I might read or watch the article or video that they talk about the spoiler in. So I don't know how valid that is, but I can understand why it would be something that people would be upset by. And then there's the other more inflammatory side of it that I saw a couple of people tweeting, where there was a couple of content creators who were talking about it and saying, yeah, or you could be one of the content creators that Wizards doesn't like and never gets a leak and not care, because why would I care if you leak the cards? They don't like me enough to give me a spoiler anyway, or I'm too small to get a spoiler, so why do I care about the content creators who are already making money at this as a full-time job getting more views? It's like, I don't know, that's a really mean way to put that, but I kind of understand the feeling of, well, I am on Wizards' bad side for some reason, so I didn't get a spoiler, so why would I care if they got leaked? I don't know. It's weird. I don't like talking about leaked cards because just in case it does cost someone part of their livelihood, I won't share it or anything. But I think people get really upset about it very quickly which might be too far.
Be straight up, like, I don't see, like, I see a problem with leaking cards, but I also just see the other end. It's like, cool, I get to see these cards really early. It's nice to just kind of feed that little bit of curiosity in you. Like, I wonder what's in the next set.
And that's the thing is, other gaming companies get things leaked, and I've never really... Like, you don't see people getting mad about how X fighting game character is leaked for being in Smash Bros. Because why would you care? It's... The way I kind of see it, and maybe this is being too close-minded, is that it doesn't really matter if it's spoiled. Like, if you... I think it was Alias V responded to me on Twitter and was like, it's like spoiling the end of the movie. But it's not. I don't really see that, because part of the experience of the movie, the entire reason you pay for that product, is to watch the movie. If I spoil it for you, there's no reason to watch the movie. But if I spoil for you that Elspeth is in the new Theros set before Wizards actually shows you, she's still in the set and you still get to play with the cards. It's not like we're burning them the minute they're spoiled.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that. Sometimes I get the feeling that people are buying into this hype train, this marketing engine that Wizards sets up. And I feel like I'm on the outside of that. I make content, but my content isn't necessarily always driven by what is coming out next. Like, we talked about the Commander products that got revealed, but
none of us are going to be playing with those products. We're not going to be making videos with them. We might play them down at the shop.
Like, even if say we got a spoiler, right? And it was leaked. I don't know that I would even care, just because I don't see that as the reason why people come to my content. If people are watching my content, they're not watching it for the spoiler. They're watching it for what I'm making. And this might end up being a long ramble that I end up cutting, just by the way, guys, because I'm trying to put into words my thoughts on this as far as...
I think I kind of get it. You're basically saying that if you need the views and the clicks from a spoiler, you're probably not doing great as a content creator to begin with.
Kind of, not even just that. It's more that if your content relies on Wizards hype machine to continue being made, if you need the daily news of Wizards releasing stuff to create your content, it might be worth it to look into doing something different. I don't know. That also sounds really harsh, I guess. And I mean, our content doesn't get that many views. We just make it because we like to make it. So I guess we're in a different situation from those people. Maybe if we relied on this for our income, we would feel very differently. But to me, it's just leaks happen. It's not and also I feel like people are too invested. As I guess what I'm saying with the hype machine is that I feel like people are too invested in what's coming next for the game. That is what people are focused on more than anything, is the next new release. And I really don't like that. That's one of the things I don't like about Magic, is that everything's about the next release.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's the next ban? What's the next new deck? What's the newest set that's coming out? It feels like they just keep pushing towards the next thing. It's like, it kind of reminds me of how nostalgic I am already for Guilds of Ravnica Standard and Ravnica Allegiance Standard. I love those formats and I would love to play more of them, but because of the way Magic is produced, they aren't here anymore. A lot of the cards I liked playing from those sets, you can't really play them anymore. You're just outclassed.
And that's standard for you. And I guess it's kind of a world that is focused on standard right now. It feels like we're pivoting around standard and what the new releases are, and you can't have a decent Eternal format. They change too much now. And that kind of plays into Wizards driving this hype of, hey, look towards the next thing, buy the next thing. I'm like, I just want to buy a deck and play it. I don't care about what's coming next unless it's going in the deck I'm playing, which frequently becomes what happens. And for me, it doesn't spoil the set if I know what's in it beforehand, because if there's a card in it I need, I'll go buy it, and if not, I'll ignore it. I don't know what the correct answer is as far as leaks. I do feel for content creators who maybe had their card spoiled or leaked, their spoiler leaked.
I'll tell you something else, though. We don't know that those are official cards. Like, you can kind of guess. Assuming you get the Elspeth from the new set, you probably have to check out this person's content anyway to see if it's the real Elspeth or if anything was changed. So maybe that's another reason for leaks to not be supported, is like, what if they're not the finished version of a card?
It's also mysterious sometimes how stuff gets leaked in the first place. Because for these, it was actual booster packs.
Yeah,
so
the person claims that they found booster packs on the shelf at like Target or something and just bought them.
Yeah, which is crazy that they already have this time-sensitive product and they just made the mistake and decided to shelve it. Apparently, it happens pretty often. How do you feel about leaks, Justin? Do you care?
It's not that I don't care. Like I said, I kind of like them just because I like getting that little taste of the set before it comes out. Or before it starts to be leaked. Even if it's not real. I like them. Not like I like froth at the mouth waiting for them. But it wouldn't kill me if they didn't happen, but I'm not going to say they shouldn't happen. If that makes sense.
Like, it's morally wrong to leak cards. Which, I think that's the other thing, is a lot of people seem to act like it's just straight up wrong to post these things. I'm like, I don't know, I agree with that. Like, I feel for the content creators if they actually lose money by not getting clicks or something like that, but
I feel like instability is part of what you sign up for when you get into creating content on the internet. You are somewhat of a slave to your viewers and to the people who visit your site or visit your channel. And asking people to not do something because you signed up for a career that is inherently unstable is a bit of a stretch. I understand that's people's livelihood, but you can't just shout at the crowd around you because they're doing something you don't like and it messes with your situation. You can only control your part of the situation.
So, guys, real question now. Is it better for the game if we have breaks like this?
If there was a 3-month break in between new stuff coming out, yes, I think so.
Like, let's say there are only 2 supplemental sets a year. Like Commander and Random set. And then every quarterly set. Do you think that would be good for the game? Instead of doing quarterly set, 2 supplemental sets, quarterly set, 1 supplemental, quarter, 2 supplemental. Like, an obnoxious amount of extra stuff thrown in the middle like we've had recently.
I definitely think that would be better. I would prefer just scheduled releases, even if you have to do like, maybe like we get 4 standard sets a year and then we get Commander and then like we get like a Master style set and then like maybe 1 extra weird set that they can do whatever they want with. If it was like that, I think it'd be a lot better because then you'd know when stuff is coming out. You'd know when to get excited or when to, save your money for this new product coming up. Because right now it just is constant. It's this constant hype machine. It's always there. And I'm not okay with that. I got tired of that very quickly.
Yeah, it becomes boring after a while. Like, the hype becomes just... You become desensitized to the hype.
Yeah, exactly.
Even more than that as well, I don't have money for all of this. Like, I can't maintain a paper collection for Modern, Standard, Pioneer, and play MTG Arena, and maintain a Commander collection, and also spend my money on things beyond Magic. Like,
Yeah, so you have to choose what you want to play. And it's like, so that means that some releases are inevitably just not going to apply to you as well. So it's like they don't exist anyway. So I don't know.
I might just throw a suggestion out to you guys, or even the listeners. I did this for Ixalan, where I completely ignored spoilers and everything, and I kind of enjoyed Ixalan. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I just kind of drowned out the hype, you know what I mean? Like, it killed me to not look at spoilers every day during spoiler season. But I enjoyed the set more, I feel like.
Oh, I didn't even really, like, aside from the prep that I had to do for the show, I didn't look at Eldraine spoilers. I never do.
I find it very difficult to not look at spoilers. I usually wait for the full set to release before doing it, but I do a full read over of the entire set so that I'm ready for Limited. I haven't been doing that for the last few sets because I haven't played a single Limited Grand Prix or event in about 6 months. But if I ever get to the point where I'm going to go to a Limited Grand Prix again, you'll find me at my computer looking over the spoiler the minute it's released, just memorizing as many cards as possible.
I guess that is one of the nice things about Magic, to end on a positive note, is that the reason they can make all these different sets and have this infinite hype train is because Magic is such a multifaceted game that people, all different type of people, play it for different reasons and in different ways. And that, I think, is something that's really cool about Magic, is that it's a niche that you can find a niche in, no matter what you like to play.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and let you all go for the week. Thanks for listening once again. If you want to find us anywhere, it's for Justin, dubious_Justin on Twitter, and then dubious_Challenger on Twitch TV and YouTube. We got Is It Fox on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube for Jordan, and I am Jake the Jackal pretty much everywhere. Type me into Google, you can find me under that name. Got Twitch affiliate this week, super excited about it, so come check out my Twitch stream. I stream pretty much every week.
Pretty much. This man's been on a grind.
Dude, he did 10 hours of no Oko.
No Oko.
That's impossible. That's like running a marathon backwards.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard stream. Don't go watch the VOD. I get so frustrated at the end. Like, someone plays an Oko on me, I'm just like, what the hell is this?
Dude, I did that in a stream one time. I rage quit a stream because of Oko.
On top of that, if you want to find us pretty much anywhere, we're the Unbanned Podcast. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Patreon, of course. If you want to throw us a couple bucks on there, we really appreciate it. And you get early access to any deck list we put up. We have a few funny, like, blooper clips. We might put up the raw episodes at some point as well. Depends on how much time we have to actually manage it all. But go give it a look, and we really appreciate you guys listening. So until next week, I guess we're banning Nykthos. It doesn't really feel right. Card doesn't seem busted enough. Ban True Name Nemesis!
Print True Name Nemesis.
Into Standard, it'll be fine. Trust us.
Yeah, definitely.
But make it an 8/8.
Yeah, with Trample.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Later.
See ya.